Well, thank you so much for staying with us. And thank you again to Bull Country Compost for sponsoring our show. And what a wonderful product Bull Country Compost is. We use it so much and we sell so much of it. And we really are so happy that so many of you are using this great product to enrich your gardens, enrich your flower beds, using it for covering when you're doing some lawn repair or a whole lawn seeding, and you're covering it with a compost and having wonderful, wonderful results. So great product, and many of you are finding out more and more about that Bull Country Compost and, of course, Hayseed Hank. If you are doing some patch seed work in your yard and you want some great soil to get that seed started in, there's no better than Hayseed Hank soil mixed with the Bull Country Compost. It's a fabulous, fabulous way to go if you need some good soil in your landscape or your garden. So we're going to get back to some of these questions, and we're going to jump back into a little bit more explanation of pruning your perennials. So the best way for your perennials to look good is to really feed them throughout the season, as well as deadheading and trimming off any spent bloom. And that's going to be, taking, like I said earlier in the show, the daylilies, that stalk that holds the flower all the way back. And then some of them, it's just taking off the flower head. Well, a rose is a bush, not technically a perennial, but deadheading your roses are going to be the same way. You want to trim that head back to the first set of 5 leaves, as long as everything on that tip has bloomed out. And then you are going to get so many more blooms on your roses. That's if you have the ever-blooming roses like the knockouts and the drifts, which we have a wonderful supply of, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Japanese beetles did do a little bit of work on them, but we were able to get them trimmed up, and they're coming back very, very nicely. That is one of the other nice things about those 2 variety of roses. They don't get so much damage that you can't bring them back quickly and still have beautiful flowers for the rest of the season. I want to let you know of a few other things that are in. We brought the mums out. Many of you were asking for the mums, and so we went ahead and brought the mums out. I think it's too early for mums, but a lot of you in the heat of the summer maybe went on vacation or just got busy and didn't get your flowers in your planters and in your hanging baskets watered correctly, so some of your things aren't looking so good, so you are ready for mums. The mums are not blooming yet. Some of them are cracking a little bit of color, but we don't have anything in full bloom. But we do have the mums out and ready to go. They are $5.59 each, or 4 for $20. Also, we got a shipment of Pro Mix in, so we were out of the Pro Mix potting soil for a while, but we got a shipment of bales and bags in, and then we also have the Better Grow soil in 3 different size bags, a wonderful soil that we recommend you use for all of your potting needs. Also, we have started a second crop of vegetables that still have time to come to fruition. So if many of you had problems with your zucchini or your summer squash having issues with the squash vine borer, you can start a new crop now. You have plenty of time. Zucchini and summer squash come to harvest very quickly, so you still have time to plant another crop and then be harvesting the first part of October. So come on in and take advantage of those fresh plants. We also have cabbage and lettuce and kale and Swiss chard. So come on in and get your garden a fresh new planting going on with it, and everything is going to be beautiful. We still have seeds for those of you that still want to do another planting of beans or beets or radishes, or maybe you're still doing seeding of lettuce or endives. We have all of those seeds still available, ready to go into your garden, and you're going to find those are wonderful for you. If you have questions like we have been answering on the show today, you can ask them several different ways. If you're watching your social distancing and don't want to bring in your questions, you can ask them on our Facebook page at Anthony Petitti Organic Greenhouse. Go to Messenger and message us your questions, and many of you have been doing that. You can email me your questions at cindypetitti@gmail.com. That's CINDYPETITTI@gmail.com. You can call us at 330-455-5997. Or again, you can come into the store at 5828 Columbus Road, right there on the corner of Columbus Road and Broadway in Nimishillen Township. Now, we have had several calls in the past couple weeks of people asking, how are you doing business now that masks are required? Do we have to, wear our mask into the store? Of course, we have been all asked to wear our mask. In the greenhouse, it is extremely hot, and I feel it is more hindrance than good to be working in the greenhouse when you have your mask off and you have it just hanging around your neck and your hands get all dirty. You're touching things that other customers have been in touching, and then you pull your mask up when you come back into the store because you can't wear your mask in the greenhouse for any extended period of time. It averages right now in the greenhouse about 104 degrees the majority of the day. So it's really hot, and working in there, you wouldn't be able to keep it on. So the health department has given us signs to put at our register, explaining to you, the customer, that there are some jobs that you can't wear the mask. So we don't have masks on. We don't wear them at the store because we're in and out of the greenhouse all the time. But we really do appreciate you, and we all do social distancing. So we want to, we have it marked on the floor for you where 6 feet is away from the register, where 6 feet is away from the person that's at the register if you're waiting in line. And then if you're outside or in the greenhouse and you have questions, we just ask that you stay 6 feet from us. We are definitely going to make sure that we stay 6 feet from you, so that no one has that fear about anything. So we just want to let everyone know we are still doing curbside pickup. So if you aren't comfortable coming into the store, you can always give us a call, place your order, and that can be for mums or a tree, or it could be for a steak and some bacon and a gallon of milk. So you can have your curbside pickup for anything that we sell. And watch our Facebook page for specials that we have going on. We're going to answer a couple more questions before we get ready to roll up and wrap up the show. The next question was about Brussels sprouts. And, a lot of people, they don't understand Brussels sprouts. It is a plant that does take a long time to come to harvest. So if you planted Brussels sprouts in May, when you were planting the rest of your garden, and the plant is growing, but you do not see any little Brussels sprouts starting off of your stems yet, don't be wary. Don't jump to conclusions. It's just not doing anything and pulling it out. You are not going to see little Brussels sprouts start forming until the temperatures start to cool off a little bit. So it's going to be probably mid-September by the time you start, unless you have some shaded area and it cools it off a little bit. But your Brussels sprouts will be doing their greatest and be ready to really harvest nice Brussels sprouts probably about the 1st of October. And if you planted late, like we did, and we planted late on purpose so that we have produce for y'all at the Winter Farmers Market that starts the first Saturday of November, we planted late in early to mid-July, we were planting our Brussels sprouts so that they will be coming on so that you'll have fresh Brussels sprouts for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we plant late, and we do the same. We planted our cabbage late so that we'll be harvesting it for our fall festival, which, to remind you all, that is the 3rd Saturday of October. And that is the 17th of October this year. And we will be having our fall festival as long as we're allowed to. But we will be, again, doing things a bit differently. There will be some things that we don't do for our fall festival just because of the situation that we're in right now. But let's get back to these Brussels sprouts. I got sidetracked a little bit there. I do that very easily with my ADD. But for your Brussels sprouts, remember that it's not going, don't be scared. They're going to come to fruition. If you did them in the ground, they are very cold tolerant, so don't worry about them. I mean, unless we have a really hard freeze, they are not going to have any issues at all. So I don't think you need to worry about that until like January. It's going to be that kind of a freeze that would really hurt your Brussels sprouts. They can handle a frost with no problem at all. I have also done Brussels sprouts in pots or containers before, and left them outside till mid-December, and then just pulled them in a cold frame and been harvesting Brussels sprouts in February. So they really do last a long time, and they can stay on the stalk for a very long time. They can be harvested raw, and you can eat them that way right off the stalk, or again, just like we cook Brussels sprouts in so many different ways. But they're great food, very nutritious, and something that is very sustainable into the winter time, so that you can have very cold weather harvesting. If you are looking to do that, remember we have all these vegetables that you can be planting right now. And a lot of you say, I don't have a cold frame, or I don't have a high tunnel that I can keep things going for a long time into the season. But remember, if you have things in the ground, you can make little low tunnels to cover them if we do have a cold snap very, very easily. Half-inch PVC pipe hooped over, your rows in your garden. Depending on how long your rows are, you might only need 3 of them, and then you stretch a piece of frost cloth over top of that, or a piece of plastic over those hoops, and that's going to retain heat through the day, and then hold it into that soil at night, which will help that plant be able to handle cold temperatures in the evening. So don't hesitate. If you have questions that you would like to know more about growing produce, your own fresh produce, into the fall, so that you don't have to go to the grocery store as often, we can help you. So we can actually come to your home and help you lay that out for a consultation fee, or you can come to the store and we can just go over it and explain how it's done. So please don't hesitate to ask your questions. Remember, at Anthony Petitti Organic Greenhouse on Facebook, or email cindypetitti@gmail.com. Give us a call at 330-455-5997, or better yet, stop in at the store at 5828 Columbus Road, right there on the corner of Columbus Road and Broadway. Thank you so much for being with me again, and have a blessed week.